What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 3 top DFS picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for NFL Week 3. And if you stay to the very end after all my picks and after I show you the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll give you my super secret sleeper pick that no one's talking about. Okay, let's take a look at the quarterback position. I like Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they've given up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson scored 34 fantasy points last week. He had 16 rush attempts. He's averaging 35.2 fantasy points per game. He's on the field for 85% of the snaps and has touched the ball 57% of that time. He's projected at 20.5 fantasy points here in Week 3, and he's $7,000 DraftKings salary and $1,500 more on FanDuel. This guy gives you a nice floor because of the rushing yards, and he's got upside with rushing touchdowns, and he can throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. So he's the complete package, much improved from the previous years, and now he's got a soft Kansas City defense. This should be a high-scoring, competitive game, so you know Lamar Jackson's going to be out there scoring you fantasy points through 4 quarters. So I like Lamar Jackson here versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy,
and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, who do we have at the running back position? I like Austin Ekeler from the LA Chargers playing the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have the 10th worst defense overall, and they give up the 15th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Austin Ekeler scored 24 fantasy points last week off of 17 rush attempts and 6 pass targets. So he's averaging 31.9 fantasy points per game. He's getting more than 20 touches a week. He's on the field for 74% of the snaps, and he touches the ball 43% of that time. So massive usage for Austin Ekeler. He's got a home game this week, and that Houston defense isn't as good as it was in the previous years. So I like Austin Ekeler here versus the Houston Texans. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, MLB is still going, NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. And if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. I like Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings playing the Oakland Raiders, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Adam Thielen has scored 13 fantasy points in both of his games this season. He got 8 pass targets last game. He's on the field for 94% of the snaps, and so far he's touched the ball 10% of that time. So there's a lot of upside with Adam Thielen. He could get more involved in this passing game, especially versus a weak Oakland Raiders pass defense. He's only $6,700 DraftKings salary and $300 more on FanDuel. He's projected at 15.1 fantasy points here in Week 3, and this is a home game. So I like Adam Thielen here versus the Oakland Raiders. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. If you're going to be playing Lamar Jackson, take a look at Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Kansas City Chiefs. So we know the Kansas City Chiefs have a middle-of-the-pack defense, and they give up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Mark Andrews has scored 28 fantasy points his first 2 games of the season. He's averaging 8.5 targets per game. He got 9 targets last week. He's on the field for 47% of the snaps and touches the ball 23% of that time. He's projected at 12 fantasy points here in week 3, and he's $4,600 DraftKings salary and $2,200 more on FanDuel. So I like Mark Andrews here versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
You've unlocked the bonus content. Okay guys, my super secret sleeper pick for week 3, he's a repeat offender. It's Nelson Aguilar from the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Detroit Lions, who have the 12th worst defense overall and give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Nelson Aguilar scored 28 fantasy points off of 11 pass targets last week. He's averaging 15.4 fantasy points per game. He had a bad week 1, but he bounced back big time in week 2. The targets are there, averaging 8 targets a game. He's on the field for 88% of the snaps, and he's touched the ball 12% of that time. He's only $3,600 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. This is a home game for Nelson Aguilar. Carson Wentz is looking sharp, and Alshon Jeffrey can't stay on the field. So I like Nelson Aguilar here with a plus matchup versus the Detroit Lions.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.